My guest this morning from Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty, Deputy Counsel Lucas Vebber is joining me. Good morning, Lucas. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Meg. I'm doing great.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that. I don't know if I've established whether or not, often I think of our conservative friends that have to live in the big cities like Madison and Milwaukee. I don't know if I've established. Are you in one of the two or outside of one of the two?
I'm just outside. I'm in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. Yeah.
Oh, Wauwatosa. That's perfectly safe. So you're all right. Okay, good. Well, let's talk about. I was actually thrilled to see this, and I know that a number of our listeners would be too. We don't have really anything positive to say about the Wisconsin Elections Commission, and we have a lot of frustration surrounding their actions over the last couple of years. But it appears that Will has taken up a case again and filed a lawsuit against WEC, challenging their. Well, I'll let you describe it. Challenging something that they did.
Yeah. So, well, thanks for having me on again, and
Yes.
it's great to be on the program. And a happy early Thanksgiving to you.
Right back at you.
But yeah, we filed yet another lawsuit against WEC last week. WEC is a lawless agency. They are an agency run amok. What we are litigating this time is the process by which they resolve complaints against election officials. So under state law, any voter who believes that an election official is not following the law or is abusing their discretion has to follow a very specific process. They have to file a complaint with the Wisconsin Elections Commission. The Wisconsin Elections Commission is then supposed to investigate and then decide those complaints. What WEC has done, however, is that they've kicked the can down the road, and they've simply allowed their staff and their administrator to conduct those investigations and to make those determinations. So individual voters are being denied the opportunity to have WEC actually vote on their complaints and determine the outcome of them, which is what state law requires. So our client in this case was an individual voter who about 2 years ago filed a complaint about drop boxes in his community. Drop boxes were ultimately deemed illegal. That was another lawsuit that Will filed, but he filed that complaint. He got a letter back from the administrator of WEC, not from the commission itself, just from the administrator that said your complaint is denied. And the administrator just CC'd all the commissioners on that complaint. So he didn't get his process that was required under state law. We believe that the process WEC is using is not lawful, and we're asking the court to declare that they can't do it and to force them to abide by the statutes as written.
Does Megan Wolf have a law degree?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that one.
I'm just kind of curious about who it is that she is, I guess, talking with in order to make the determinations that she is. It seems to me that as you've described it, evidently there's supposed to be a process in place where and it's 6 members of WEC, the commissioners, that are supposed to be making these determinations, but somehow Megan has, I don't know if she's been deputized or what her deal is, but it's interesting that she seems to be making these unilateral decisions, or at least leaving them up to her staff. So with regard to this, it looks like it was the Village of Heartland. I was just looking to see this voter and taxpayer in the Village of Heartland that filed a complaint against the local village clerk. Did they eventually remove the drop box?
They did, yeah. So we actually, back in 2021, when we originally filed this lawsuit, 2022 when we originally filed this lawsuit, we asked for that, and then the Tigan case that we had filed came out, and the Supreme Court had declared that drop boxes were not lawful. So we won that case before it even got to a decision. The WEC had to back down because the Supreme Court stepped in, which is good news. And then this is kind of a follow-up to that lawsuit where we want the court to declare the process by which WEC is using to investigate and make those determinations is unlawful. And you use the phrase deputized. That's accurate. I think what WEC has done is they adopted a motion that just basically was a unanimous, I think, motion. This is a couple of years ago, so not all the commissioners are the same now, but they adopted a motion that basically just said, we're going to allow the WEC administrator and the staff to make these decisions. And so our lawsuit challenges that as what we call an unlawful delegation of the WEC authority. So where the legislature creates an office and gives that office specific powers, that office then can't turn around and delegate those powers to somebody else without legislative authority, and they don't have that authority here to do it. So when the legislature created WEC, they required them to act by 2/3 majority to take action. So 4 of the 6 commissioners have to vote to take some action. That's very clear in the statutes. And what they've basically done is by delegating this power is just bypass all of those safeguards on WEC and all of that process that was put in place to protect voters, and just given all those powers away to the administrator and their staff. And our suit we believe that's unlawful. Our suit asks the court to declare it unlawful, and we'll definitely keep you posted as it moves forward.
Oh, I had such high hopes that we would have a new governor and a supermajority, well, I guess I would say or a supermajority in the assembly so that we could make some changes to the Wisconsin Elections Commission. Now, was this decision to, as I've now characterized it, deputize Megan Wolf, was it unanimous? I mean, I thought that Bob Spindell had some sense, one of the commissioners on WEC.
Yeah, I believe it was a unanimous motion. It was adopted a few years ago, though, so I don't know which specific commissioners were on the commission at that time, but I believe it was a unanimous decision, yes.
So what kind of time frame are we looking at? I mean, is this going to drag out for quite some time?
Yeah, I mean, the wheels of justice move at their own pace, that's
Right.
for sure. So we need to wait now for an answer from WEC. They have to answer our lawsuit, and then it's really sort of determinative of how the legal process plays out. We certainly hope that it can be resolved as quickly as possible, but of course there's always the possibility that the losing side at the trial court level will want to appeal, and then potentially even petition the Supreme Court for review at the end of the day. So we're in it for the long haul. I mean, as you know, Will's not going anywhere. We're here to fight the good fight for as long as it takes. So. But I can't give you a specific timeline as to when we'll have a final decision.
So are you looking for more plaintiffs? I mean, because, I'm thinking about my own personal situation here in Wausau, although now the box remains, but it's been renamed. It's no longer, maybe the pronouns of the absentee ballot box have changed outside of Wausau City Hall. It's no longer the box where our mayor twerks or drops it down low, I guess as she characterized it, but the box still stands, and it's now been reassigned to accepting payments.
Yeah, I mean, as long as they're not using it to accept ballots, that Supreme Court decision wouldn't impact them. I know, down here, some of the cities, like City of Milwaukee, has a payment drop box I've seen for like property tax payments and things like that. But we aren't looking for more plaintiffs in this lawsuit, but certainly if any of your listeners are having an experience with WEC or any other, government entity that they believe is acting unlawful, they can reach out to us and one of our attorneys will take a look. We've got a form on our website at will-law.org they could fill out, and we do review everything that comes in. So.
Well, and thank God for Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty and all of your hardworking staff, because without you guys, I feel like we would be, we'd be in trouble. And it's really nice to know that we have some good guys on our side that can fight on our behalf. It's frustrating that we have to continually file lawsuits against our elected officials or those that are supposed to know better and that are supposed to be acting on behalf of what's best, adhering to the law, but don't do so.
Yeah, we certainly appreciate that support and the kind words. And yeah, I mean, nobody ever wants to have to go to court, but we just want to let folks know that if it ever comes down to that, Will is a resource, and we're here. And if we have the ability to take on cases that are within our mission, we're certainly always looking to do so.
Well, thanks again. I will say it to you back. Happy Thanksgiving, and I appreciate all your hard work, all the hard work that you do on behalf of the citizens here, the great citizens in Wisconsin. Lucas Vebber from Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty, and that's will-law.org for more information.
Correct.
Thanks again, Lucas. I hope you have a great day.
You too, Meg. Thanks. Take care.
Thank you. We'll talk soon.